Hey everyone, the name is Eric Dorn. In today's video, I want to talk about why most INFPs don't like labeling themselves as INFPs. I know INFPs are a personality type that tends to very much struggle with labels, and many INFPs, because of this, find themselves doubting their personality type and wondering whether they are another type, or sometimes even questioning whether they're an INFP at all. But at the same time, I think many INFPs feel that they feel very validated and very understood by their personality type. And so in this video, I want to talk about how you can relate to your label as an INFP in a healthy way and how you can look at it. Now, first of all, let's look at Carl Jung, the creator of the 16 personalities, or the 8 cognitive functions, and the personality traits, the theory that we use to describe ourselves today, right? Carl Jung didn't really believe in personality types the way the classic and modern MBTI does today. He saw each human being as their own unique human soul, right? And that means he knew that every single patient he met, every single person that he met, had their own unique experiences, values, lifestyle, and actions. And the MBTI doesn't really take away from that. It doesn't really challenge the fact that you are a unique person and you have your own unique feelings. The truth is, most INFPs spend a lot of time going into and reflecting on their own feelings and who they are and what their unique values are. And because of that, most INFPs tend to end up with this feeling that they are different from others, that they don't really fit in, and that they don't really belong anywhere, right? If you're looking for INFP-specific advice, I recommend checking out my patreon.com/ericdor page, where I offer coaching options, special articles, videos, and much more for INFPs. Thank you for watching, and let's get on with the video. This is because of two things. Well, first of all, the more intuitive you are, the more you have this tendency to want to go and make your own path in life, right? So you want to do new things, you want to try something different, you want to be an original person with their own unique contribution to the world. Beyond that, because of your strength in feeling and introversion, you engage a lot in introspection, and you often go and turn inwards, and because of this, you might struggle with connecting with the outer world and talking to and fitting in, finding and creating a place for yourself in the world, right? Because when you're an extrovert, you enjoy going out and putting an imprint of yourself in the world. So you're constantly trying to recreate your own feelings and intentions and values in everything that you do. But when you're an introvert, it can be a step, a challenge, a bit difficult to go outside your comfort zone and to do something different. The reason why INFPs are skeptical might also be because of their perceiving function, or their perceiving personality traits. Because INFPs, to some extent, share this tendency to keep things open, to not want to plan, to not want to use labels, to not want to use systems and organizations and hierarchies. They tend to look at the world differently. Instead of seeing one group of trees or one group of things around you, the INFP sees each unique tree for its own unique properties and unique structure and unique bark and unique shape and all those things, right? So the INFP is looking at the unique qualia, the unique qualitative experience that we have of life and of ourselves. But now the question is, do the labels take away from any of that? No, actually not. The labels don't really take away from anything. The truth is, no matter how we choose to label things, and no matter where we draw the lines between the personality traits and how we measure and test personality, it's always going to be that way. We're always going to have unique edges and contours and unique qualities and unique thoughts, unique ideas that are going to exist outside what any label could ever hope to explain, right? The ancient Greeks, they already knew this. They knew that while we can reason about a lot of things, while we can explain a lot of things, while we can organize a lot of things, truth is, a lot of things we kind of have to decide on the spot based on our gut feeling. And that's always going to be the case. No matter how science advances, it can't predict the future. It can't know what's going to happen next. And the more intelligently, the more brilliantly we learn to categorize the world, the more we're going to notice and stumble on new chaos and new disorder and new ideas and new possibilities. So that means also that as an INFP, you can rest assured you can use and practice and have and engage in labels, but you can still maintain and continue to treat every single person as a unique human being. When we meet people, we can certainly use the MBTI, we can certainly use the 16 personalities to start up a conversation about our own unique personality and who we are. Still, we need to sit down and think, but what does that mean for you? And how do you experience this? Because the truth is, every single person you meet, every single INFP that you talk to, is going to have their own unique experience of what it means to be an INFP. The MBTI is just a conversation starter. It's just where you can begin this process of trying to understand yourself. But there's always going to be things outside of that. Personality traits that have nothing to do with type, functions and thinking patterns and new ways of learning to think and develop that are going to be outside anything we ever know. Just ask, for example, neuroscientist Dario Nardi, who does a lot of experiments on the MBTI. If you come to Dario Nardi and say that, I feel like I'm in between the INFP and the INFJ, and you put on this magical hat that he uses to read your EEG patterns and to try to predict your personality, there's a large chance that he's going to say, well, I understand why you think you're in between an INFP and an INFJ, because you are in between an INFP and an INFJ, and that's a completely normal thing to be. You don't have to fit 100% in a type. And when we look at biology, the truth is, in biology, spectrums are everywhere. There are no binaries, there are no coins, there are no dichotomies. In biology, when you study biology, everything is a spectrum. That means everything is a layered understanding full of nuances, which means that, yes, you can be here in this part of INFP, and there in this part of INFP, and here in this part of INFP. And the question is always, to some extent, where do we draw the line, right? Where do we say an INFP is too thinking to be an INFP? When do we say an INFP is too judging to be an INFP? When do we say an INFP is too extroverted to be an INFP? Truth is, we don't really know. And there's not been any conclusive science or studies done in the MBTI or in the Big Five to really conclude that this is where the middle is. And this is absolute middle. You know, we'd have to ask every single person on the planet, and we'd have to sit down with them all, and we'd have to figure out how they've developed to think, how they developed to feel. Binaries exist in programming, but they don't exist in human nature, because biology is a little bit more complicated than that. The question is, what do labels mean to you, and how can you use labels in a fun, playful way, because it's interesting, and because it's a language, and because it's a framework, but not because it's an absolute truth, and not because it's a pigeonhole mechanism, not because it's a box, but just because it starts up a conversation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all in the next video.